Hello, welcome to another informative episode on White Davy Gardening and Worm Farm. Here, what you're looking at is the compost bin that I added worms to a few months ago. It is now time to harvest it. As you can see, for the most part, this bin has been processed. So now what I have been doing for the past 2 weeks is I have been taking out portions of this material, spreading it out in the sun so that the worms can move down so that I can harvest the worms from it. I have got a third of it done so far, maybe less than a third. So here, this is what's left of one portion that I have taken out and used in the sunlight to separate the worms from the material. And I'm going to show you the rest of what I've been doing with this. So here, this is my box that I use to put the content from my worm bin in whenever I want to separate worms from the castings. And so I have been doing this for a while, but it is starting to rain, so I covered it up. I've extracted most of the material from here already, so most of this is actually worms. Well, a good portion of it, not most. I'm trying to get as much of the castings as I can out so that I do not have to find a lot of containers, or should I say worm bin, to put all that content from the compost bin in. So what you're looking at here is some finished castings that I just sifted. So I'm sifting it over this sled using my little tiny hand sifter. This is 1/8 inch hardware cloth. And then in the trays, whatever remains, the worms and the rough edge that they haven't processed yet, I have been putting in these trays. Then over here on these shelves are the ones that have already processed and restarted the worm bin. Some of these are not from that compost bin, because you would have seen in one of my previous videos where my outdoor tier worm bin, I harvested the worms from those. So the two bottom rows here are actually from that tiered worm bin, and then the rest that you see here is what I took out from that compost bin. Now I'm going to be showing you the castings that I've harvested from that compost bin so far. Don't mind the mess in here. I have a little project that I'm working on with this table that I am building. So over there in that 4-gallon pail, that's some of the castings that I harvested. This 6-gallon pail here, and that 10-gallon pail over there. I'm hoping I can get those castings out before my husband come and see that I'm actually using his wine bucket to hold castings. But for now I am out of containers to use because I am making trips to the compost depot with my buckets that I'm supposed to be storing the castings in. And then I have this flower pot here that I am now putting the rest of the castings that I harvest in. So so far, let's see, that's 10, 6, 16, and about 2 gallons in here, so that's about 18, and 4 gallons in there, so that's about 22 gallons that I've harvested from that compost bin so far. And that's nearly 2 gallons I have here, so about 24 gallons of castings that I've harvested from that compost bin. And I haven't reached quite up to a third of it yet, so it will be interesting to see how many worms I will be harvesting from that bin and how many castings I will be harvesting, because I put quite a few worms in that bin. Most of them were actually hatchlings, maybe about 2,000 or more hatchlings in there. So it will be interesting to see what happened in the 3 months that they have been in there. So this is my update on what is going on with my worm farm at the moment. I'm a bit concerned because I usually have all my worms harvested and indoors by the third week in August to the last week in August, but this time around it's a bit tricky because I've extended my garden, so it's a lot of work preparing the garden and a lot of work sifting out all this casting. And as you can see, my worm farm has grown over the years, so yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm really hoping that I can get it done by the end of September, because temperature went down to -8 the other night, and worms do not survive in temperatures below 0 degrees. In fact, 0 degrees they will die, but I guess because the compost bin is so full, so they can go in the middle and hide because it's a bit warm in there. So that is my update, guys. If you enjoyed my video, please share, like, leave a comment in the section below, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification for more updates like these. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful day.